important phase of an MUN conference, which is drafting resolutions. This is something which we'll do at the end of the second day, debate upon it on the third day. So a draft resolution is simply a proposal to become a resolution. So it consists of suggestions to the problem at hand, and a committee is always constituted to focus on a problem and find solutions. So the best way to find solutions is deliberate, which has already been done, and now it is time to give those thoughts and those various ideas some ink and some practical experience, and therefore the only way you can do it, that you pass a resolution which consists of all those suggestions. Now, what exactly is the format of a draft resolution? There's a difference between draft resolution and a resolution. There can be only one resolution in an ideal MUN committee, and a draft resolution only becomes a resolution if it is passed. So, coming to the format of a draft resolution, here the committee name is given General Assembly Third Committee. So what exactly is this General Assembly Third Committee? General Assembly has 6 committees which focus on different types of areas, just because there are so many vital areas to focus on. So this is the third committee of General Assembly. On the left hand side is General Assembly Third Committee, and on the right hand side there is something written as Resolution GA/3/1.1. Now when it is a draft resolution, you might not write the word resolution. The first thing which you need to write is the name or the short form of the committee. So obviously it is the General Assembly, so you write GA. Now because General Assembly has 6 subcommittees, you need to mention which subcommittee is this, or not subcommittees. General Assembly has 6 committees, so this is the third, so /3. All draft resolutions of this committee will have these two for short, GA/3rd. Now what does 1.1 mean? It means that this was the first submitted draft resolution and it has only one amendment. You might have 5-6 draft resolutions. However, in General Assembly, there should actually be not more than 3. So the order in which you submit your draft resolution to the chair, you're given that number. So it might be 1.0, 2.0 or 3.0. And what does 0.1 mean? It means the number of times a draft resolution has been amended. Now after this, we come to what is written on the left hand side. The technicality is basically over on top. We write the people who have drafted the resolution. It means, and which actually means that they have to agree with each and every clause of the resolution, because they are the ones who've drafted it, and henceforth these are called sponsors. Signatory is not a one who supports that resolution. A signatory is someone who wants that resolution to be discussed. He or she might be against the resolution. However, he or she wants it to be discussed. And that's what a signatory means. And you cannot be both a sponsor and signatory to your own resolution. However, if you're sponsor to one resolution, you can be signatory to the other resolutions of the committee. Now let's come to the main part, which is the 2 types of clauses, preambulatory and operative clauses, which constitute the core of a resolution. The first 4 are known as preambulatory clauses. Rest 7 are something known as operative clauses. Now, preambulatory clauses are nothing but an introduction, or I should not even say introduction, something which lay the foundation to the actual resolution or the solutions. Very, very important. Preambulatory clauses are not brought about into force. It is only operative clauses which are acted upon. Preambulatory clauses are recognized by 2 ways. First, they do not have a numbering, and second, they end with a comma. Always, all preambulatory clauses end with commas, and the words which are underlined are actual preambulatory clauses. Coming to the main part of the resolution, which is the operative clauses. They are numbered. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And second, They use semicolons to separate operative clauses. They end with semicolons, and the last operative clause ends with a period. It means that the resolution has ended. And by mistake, if you have a period, the second operative clause, the resolution would have to end there. Once you write the background in form of preambulatory clauses, you come to the operative clauses, which actually call for actual concrete suggestions which have to be implemented. And all these end with a semicolon, as already spoken before. Now, an operative clause might have a sub-operative clause, which primarily means that you might have one point A, one point B, one point C. And so if you have three sub-clauses in one operative clause, after one point A and one point B, you will put commas, and after one point C, which is the last, you'll put a semicolon. Now, talking about amendments and what are amendments. Amendments are changes which you have to make to a particular resolution or a draft resolution. So once a draft resolution is tabled, you have to open debate on that particular draft resolution. It can be of various types. It can be clause by clause, in which the sponsors come up and read clauses, and then you can take points of information. It can be a moderated caucus. It's upon your chair or the committee to decide. Now, here I'll talk about the Security Council. The Security Council has a total membership of 15, out of which there are 5 permanent members, which we all know: US, UK, China, France, and Russia. And there are 10 non-permanent members with 2-year rotations, right? Now, might be there may be a agenda on North Korea, and you don't have North Korea at the time in the committee. So you might want to call upon North Korea or South Korea as observer states, in which it primarily means that such states in an MUN can only vote in non-substantive votings, that is procedural vote about how to go about a moderated caucus or adjournment of a committee, etc. When it comes to substantive votes which are substantive and important in nature and are not procedural, like amending a resolution or actually voting on the resolution, these votes bar the observers from voting. So in UNSC, if there are any observers, they actually made to go out of the committee room, and the 15 members of the UNSC acting members will only be allowed to vote. What happens in amendments is there are 3 types of amendments: addition, deletion, modification. You simply have to write chits to the executive board for any of these amendments. In addition, you have to add a particular clause. So you say to executive board from whichever country, maybe India, and then you write it in bold, the type of amendment, and in this case it being addition amendment, and then you write in double inverted commas the entire clause which you want to add. And please make sure whether you are ending it with a full stop or a semicolon, because that's very important technically. Only then will it be considered in order to be voted upon. Second is deletion, which is the easiest. So you simply have to write delete clause, whichever number, 5, 6, 7, and that's it. You don't have to give any justification. The format remains the same, just change the name to deletion and to one. Third and the most complex and lengthiest is modification. What happens in modification? You partly agree with the clause, right? And you partly don't. So you write in the same format, you write modification, and then you say change clause 4, which reads, you have to write this entire clause as it stands. And then you have to write the clause which you want it to be changed to, and all these have to be with the same punctuation. Only then will it be in order. Once all the amendments are brought, voting has to take place. And how does voting happen? There are 2 types of voting: friendly and non-friendly. In a friendly vote, where an amendment seems very open and is very, very viable to be incorporated, the sponsors, means if there are 3 here, US, Austria, and Italy, have a right to simply say friendly amendment, and the amendment is done without a vote. So it gets changed on the spot. However, if there is, suppose, a deletion of a clause, or even if one of the sponsors does not agree with the amendment becomes unfriendly, And in that case, it goes to voting. And in voting, what happens in UNSC particularly, obviously you require 2/3 majority. So you require 10 out of 15. However, those 10 should also include all 5 permanent members. And therefore, even if one permanent member opposes an amendment or a draft resolution, the amendment or draft resolution automatically fails. And once all the amendments have been done, the resolutions move to vote. Once the resolution has been moved for voting, which might be in order of submission or of the discretion of the chairperson, you have voting in which you require 2/3 majority with all 5 permanent members. Only then will you have a resolution passed. Now, this was the entire concept of basic rules of procedure. This was the basic tips on your hand to start MUNing.